Pesach is the birth of the Jewish nation. We were not a nation till we came out of Mitzrayim. We became Am Yisrael in Mitzrayim. We were born as a nation. We went into Mitzrayim as 70 individuals. We came out of Mitzrayim as one nation. So the birth of the nation of Klal Yisrael is at the Seder. We create a baby at the Seder. It's a long shir. I hope to talk about it next week, definitely the following week together with him. But there are bones in a baby, that's the matzah. There is blood in a human, that's the wine. And we're going to build at the Seder, we're going to build a child. That child is called Am Yisrael. But what happened was, if you read the Torah, it says that Klal Yisrael went out of Mitzrayim, and it uses a very weird word. B'chipazon. Chipazon is an urgency. So what really happened was, we were supposed to go to Mitzrayim, and then leave Mitzrayim as a nation, but we fell in Mitzrayim to the 49th level of Tumah. And Hashem knew that if we remain in Mitzrayim for another day, we're going to hit the 50th, and we'll never get out. Which means, for women who give birth know what I'm talking about, which means that when a woman's in labor, so they watch the baby to make sure the baby's not under stress. If the baby gets under stress, immediately they wheel the mother into an operating room, and you should never know from it because it's pretty painful. Not that I ever had one, but I heard about it. They do a cesarean, which is an operation. What happened in Mitzrayim was Hashem had to do a cesarean because we were supposed to be born, but He saw that we were under crazy pressure, and that if we hit the 50th level, we'll die. We'll never come out of Mitzrayim. So this baby that was supposed to be born Pesach night, right, naturally, was in grave danger. So b'chipazon, Hashem made a decision now. Makas B'choris at 12 o'clock. The next day we're out of here. Because if I don't get them out of here now, they're never going to make it. Now what's the difference? I'll give you a little, not to scare anyone, but what's the difference between a birthing room and where you have a cesarean? A cesarean is done in an operating room. Now, some of you have children, some of you are single, so you've never been in a birthing room. You go into a birthing room. I remember I brought my wife into the birthing room. That's where you give birth naturally, right? You're like, I don't know. The girl looks at it and says, I don't know, everyone says that it's painful to give birth. The birthing room, you have this couch and a beautiful bed, with a great television, you know? Nothing scary in the room. No forceps, no stirrups, no nothing. It looks like your living room. You walk in there, you're like, oh, this is nothing, it's going to be easy. But if chas v'shalom, you have to have a cesarean. So I went in with my wife, and they give you the gloves and everything, and you have to wear a mask, and you have to wear the gloves, and you have to wear the suit, and you have to wear the green stuff on your shoes. You don't have to wear that in a birthing room. You don't have to wear any of that in a birthing room. But in the operating room, and it's all steel. Steel, the bed is steel, the pans are steel, the machines are steel, the place smells, it's sterile, it smells from alcohol, it's downright scary. It's like where they created Frankenstein, it looks like, right? It's like you're scared, it's like a laboratory, right? You look at that room, you're like, I'm not having this kid, right? But so they don't show you that room. That room is only if it's an emergency, right? So Rav Shimshon Pincus says something unbelievable. He says the way we were supposed to be born, Klal Yisrael, was birthing, go through Mitzrayim and be born as a nation. But all of a sudden we went down to the 49th level. Hashem said, b'chipozon, I got to do a cesarean. A cesarean needs an operating room. An operating room has to be crazy sterile. For if there's a germ in that operating room when that baby is born, it'll kill the child, it'll kill the mother. So that room has to be scrubbed down, sterile, stainless steel, gloves, mask, hat, pants, jacket, the whole thing. Everybody in that room, it looks like it's a surgery. It looks like an open heart surgery. So Rav Shimshon Pincus, and this is also brought down the Kavayasha, it's brought down in many Sfarim of Kabbalah. What's the whole thing in the next 3 weeks that you're supposed to clean up your house for breadcrumbs? Breadcrumbs, God's not scared of breadcrumbs. You get married, you have to wash. Pidyon haben, you have to wash. Bris Milah, you have to wash. Shabbos, you have to wash 3 times. All of a sudden, for 7 days, God says, bread? One crumb in the house, you're done. He got scared of bread. What's the bread problem? So all Kabbalah and all the Chazal tell us that the bread is a representation Sa'or shebe'isa of the Satan, of Averis. So God gave us something in the physical world to clean, and it parallels in the spiritual world with our Averis. So therefore, the halacha is that by the time you come to the Seder, and since we were born b'chipazon, we were born in an operating room, we were born in a Caesarean, and therefore when you create this nation of Klal Yisrael, there can't be any germs in the room. Therefore, when you sit by the Seder, there can't be any chametz, because the chametz represents the Averis, represents the germs. But if you're going to sit at the table and make jokes and come to the table with Averis, you miss the whole thing. That you vacuum the bread. Of course, it's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah in the Torah. But that you vacuum the bread, you miss the whole thing. The Rebbes, the Hasidim, the Rebbes used to spend B'dikas Chametz. Used to spend the whole night. It took them 10 hours to do 2 rooms because they went into every corner, and every corner was another corner of their heart, of their soul. And they said the biggest B'dikas Chametz is the baidik, is to check in your heart to make sure there's no chametz in your heart. And therefore, for the next 4 weeks, it's not only just cleaning our houses, but it's cleaning ourselves. Because it's the birth of Klal Yisrael.